Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me one more time. Thank you so much for rocking with me. So yeah, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. Don't forget to like and comment about today's content. So yeah, as you guys can see with the title, I will be speaking about necrophilia, and I think personally it is relatively very relevant to the chaos that we're living in today as women, especially in South Africa, with the gender-based violences. There's always women and children being found and they've been raped, and I think there's a lot of questions about the circumstances that happened prior to the women being raped and murdered, and after, what was done to their bodies even after the murder has happened. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it will be informative and educate you guys. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so let me start with saying that necrophilia is kind of like a sister or a cousin to cannibalism. I did a video on cannibalism, like one of the first few videos that I posted was on cannibalism. So it's kind of, for me, I would say, in the same family. So basically, necrophilia is sexual arousal or attraction towards corpses, so like dead bodies, dead people. So people who participate or perpetrators of necrophilia are called necrophiliacs, and there's different types of necrophilia, but I will be focusing on homicidal necrophilia for obvious reasons. And so homicidal, which is also called homicidiphilia, includes like people who are willing to go as far as killing just so they can have sex with the corpse, right? And so there's no one classification of what a necrophiliac is, because like I just said, there's different types. There are people who are willing to kill, and some of them don't necessarily kill for the body, but maybe they just want the body dead and then they just have sex with it. So there's different classifications, so there's no one cohesive classification of what a necrophiliac is. So most classifications also describe the behavior that is involved with necrophilia, but they don't describe or explain the thoughts and motivation behind the behavior. But I guess it's because like I read that as much as living people want to have sex with other living people, necrophiliacs also have reasons why they want to have intercourse with dead bodies. So their explanations will never be the same. So that's why there's no one or 5 particular motivations as to why they would want to have, participate in or have intercourse with a corpse. So the DSM-5 classifies necrophilia as an other specialized paraphilia, which means that it is recurrent and intense sexual interest in a corpse. So it's basically an atypical sexual arousal in which the arousal involves others who are unwilling or unable to give consent, right? So Kraft Ebing Psychopathia Sexualis classified it as a sadist behavior. So a sadist behavior is anything where you get sexually aroused by like others who are in pain, or you affecting pain on the other person. Maybe you get sexually aroused by cutting someone, you know what I mean? It's very sadist. Like sadist behavior is something that's very extreme, where the other person has to be in pain for you to, be sexually aroused. And then there's a growl. I hope I'm saying that right. A growl has a categories actually of necrophilia, and 6 of those explain how homicide or killing someone can be used in order to gain access to a corpse. So how you can kill someone in order to have sex with them. So those 10 classifications, right? How I understand it is that it goes according to like how intense or how much the person needs to have intercourse with a corpse. So there are some who only think about it, they fantasize about it. So that would be one end of the scale or one end of the classification. And then there are others who actually go ahead and kill somebody in order to have intercourse with them, and that would be, maybe the higher end of the classification. So that's how I understand it. So it depends on the direction of the greater interaction, how much you want to have interaction with the corpse, and the direction of the increasing sexual arousal. So if it's only in your thoughts, then it's in the other classifications. But then if it goes from being in your thoughts to you actually doing it, it moves in the classification. The only reasoning that one can kind of say with a necrophiliac as to why you would escalate from being a normal person who has sex with like living beings to wanting to have sex with corpses is that people's desires and wants sexually escalate and fluctuate as their life progresses and as they grow and whatever. And so people who have been diagnosed, I guess, as necrophiliacs, they have antisocial personality disorder and conduct disorders, and they also, some of them are prone to depression and schizophrenia. And the thing with having those disorders or being diagnosed is that those people are more likely to take their thoughts and turn them into action. So just not go from just thinking about it and fantasizing to actually killing somebody for sexual pleasure, because they lack the empathy and the social skills. You know what I mean? They don't have the buffer that stops them because of their disorders. That stops them from going ahead and killing somebody just to have sex with them. So dealing or understanding necrophiliacs is not only important for law enforcement for obvious reasons, but it's also important for academia, because if you find out why these people do it, if it's a pathology reason, then you are able to better deal with necrophiliacs. Then you are able to identify their behavior, or identify risk factors, and then you're able to give them the proper intervention and therapy. Okay, so obviously necrophilia is an unlawful act. So law enforcement has penalties for interfering with a corpse. So it's not called, you won't get arrested for necrophilia. You'll get arrested for interfering with a corpse, not reporting the dead body, and obviously if you killed the person to have sex with them, then it's homicide, right? So sexual homicide, and I think I'm putting it in a South African context because wow, the way and the state in which the children and the women are found. Sexual homicide persists as the perpetrators rape, mutilate, and engage in sexual intercourse with these dead bodies. So I think for me it's always a question of the way the state in which the bodies are found. It's like, did something happen after this person was dead? Because I think most of it is just known as rape, and I think rape happens when the person is still alive, and after the person has been dead, then it goes into necrophilia. That's how I understand it. So anyway, so some reasons, I guess it's reasons why people would engage in necrophilia is because they want an unresisting partner. They want, I think I mentioned it before, that they want a person who, they don't need your consent, right? And for some of them, I think it's a personal insecurity thing, because it might happen in cases where they are very afraid that they won't satisfy their partner, so they would rather have sex with a dead person, because then they're not responsible of giving the corpse an orgasm, right? So yeah, so it's that. And it's just like there's no emotions in it, there's no social work, there's no work that needs to be done. It's just the sexual act and it's gone. There's no caring for someone, there's no relationship, there's no work, you know. You don't need, there's no judgment from anyone, you know. In a typical relationship, there's a man and a woman, there's bickering and there's being unsatisfied and what not. So if you do it with the corpse, all of that is eliminated. It's all about you do your business and it's done. So just as, I don't want to say easy, just as much as people become corpses because of human need, meaning that a person might kill you for whatever reason and leave you there, people engage in necrophilia for personal need as well. Because a person might find you there, maybe they didn't kill you, but they find you there and they have sex with your body because it's convenient, you were there, you know what I mean, and they're just trying to satisfy themselves. When sexual intercourse happens right after the person has been killed, it's called warm necrophilia. Like right after, when the body's still warm, I guess, it's called warm necrophilia. So they do it, I guess, to degrade the body, to further violate the body, to dehumanize you, and they don't take it very serious. It's not that deep for them, because they objectify the victim, they objectify us women, they objectify us when we are alive, and so they objectify you when you're dead. And let me just say, I know I'm talking about women a lot, obviously men and young boys do become victims as well, you know. I do note that and I do acknowledge that. So yeah, they just want to continue to destroy the person, and it's just lustful violence. It's very, they do unnecessary sadistic things to your body just to further violate you, you know. It's a sick world. So some necrophiliacs prefer bodies that are mummified and putrefied and have been dug up. Like, they don't prefer fresh meat. They don't prefer you when you were just like, when you're dead for like 10 hours. No, they want you when you're dead for 10 years. Like, they want bones. I don't know how the intercourse happens in that situation because it's bones. I don't know. But yeah, some prefer no meat. And yeah, to each their own. So some professions, I think in South Africa, that are all over the world also, that it's easy for necrophilia to be performed. It's people who work at mortuaries, people who work for funeral homes, people who work for nurses, people who work for graveyard workers. So yeah, those professions. So basically, where you're able to be in contact with the dead body, those professions, it's not most, but some of the people who have been arrested come from those professions. Yeah. So I don't know how you guys feel about what I said about it being necrophilia being relevant to South Africa. Maybe because this word is not thrown out there a lot, you know, we're only used to rape. But please tell me what you think. Do you think most of the women and children that have been found in our country, do you think their perpetrators have committed or done necrophilia on them? So I'm gonna give you guys 2 examples of South African cases. I'm not gonna give you like the 9 yards of the cases. I'm just gonna give you the gist of the necrophilia part of it. So there was a 47-year-old former mortuary worker in Paarl, and he was charged for allegedly abusing a 7-year-old's body, right? So this 7-year-old died from a car-related incident, and this man was responsible from taking the body from the scene, from the crime scene, to the mortuary. And so the pathologist is the one who actually discovered that the girl's corpse had been sexually desecrated. So yeah, so he was charged with violating a corpse, I think. And then so yeah, so with when it comes to charges, when it comes to sentencing, um a person who has performed necrophilia, aka interfering with a corpse. There's no a specific or set sentence. It is all up to the discretion of the magistrate, or yeah, because like I said, it happens under different circumstances. Sometimes you kill the person, sometimes you found the body dead, like this dude. The body was already dead. So I think it depends on the circumstance of how it happened. And the other interesting thing is that morgue workers, people who work at mortuaries, will get a more lenient sentence than people who work at graveyards. I don't know why. I guess because the other one dug up the body to get it, and to this one, I don't know why, but yeah. Grave workers, the people who dig up the bodies in order to get the body, get a harsher sentence than the morgue worker who just, the body was just there. So yeah, this one makes me think, like, how, guys, I think this thing is so common. It's just they're not caught, and yeah, because how many morgue workers do you think do that to a corpse? I think it's extremely common. Yeah, and it's just unfortunate because sometimes maybe they don't detect it, or they don't care enough to investigate it or whatever. But I really truly think in South Africa it's very common. Yeah, so the second case is this one. I think was very hot and heavy in South Africa. I'm not gonna say the victim's name, but the perpetrator was Mortimer Saunders, and it happened in 2017, and he killed a 3-year-old. He killed a 3-year-old because he was sleeping, he's trying to get his sleep, and this 3-year-old kept disturbing his sleep. That was the first reason. The second reason was that he and the 3-year-old's mother, there was ill feelings towards the two of them. So they weren't getting along. So that was the second reason. So he decided to poison the 3-year-old. It's a girl, and he decided to poison the 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old died. But then he says that he didn't poison her to kill her. He was just poisoning her to make her sick so that she can go away. Like, go away, go to your mom, type of thing. But yeah, the 3-year-old died. And there were other things that were done to the body, like other bruises and other, violent things that were evident on the body. But then I'm obviously gonna concentrate on the necrophilia. So there was allegations that he had raped her, but then he denies that. He says that he did not rape her, so he did not do anything sexual to her while she was still alive, like before she died. But he says that he put his fingers in her genitalia after she was dead. So the bruises, or I guess whatever the pathologist found in her region, is because of her fingers and not because he penetrated her with his penis. So yeah, and he was actually sentenced to 2 life sentences. My sources say he was sentenced to 2 life sentences. So yeah, it's a lot, and I think for South Africans it should be a lot, and it should be considered, and it should be considered enough to like have its own sentence and be named necrophilia if you perform or commit necrophilia. But I guess maybe it's difficult to prove that it was necrophilia, and that's why maybe it doesn't have its own standing, sentences and stuff. But yeah, I hope that was informative. I hope you enjoyed getting to know what necrophilia is and all that. If you have information, if you have something you can educate us on, you're more than welcome to do so in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if there's anything else I like that you guys would want me to talk about, something that you're curious about, you're more than welcome to suggest it to me. I really do not mind. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and all those good things.